Okay, next one up is an Olds Ambassador. 1962 Olds Ambassador. Okay. And the Ambassadors, you know, they're sweet. They're really great horns. Here he is. Looks good up here. Looks good down here. I still need to refine this a little bit more because it's still a little lumpy. I did pull this one out of storage and I didn't work on it too much, but the bell is pretty much intact. There's a couple little contusions here and there I'm going to get on, but I buffed this. This is what I call the preliminary buff because there's still remnants of the lacquer on it. But you should have seen it before I got to it. It was not very good. So yeah, this was put together, and again, one manufacturing quality standard for every horn out of the Olds factory. That's the way Mr. Olds wanted it. That's the way Mr. Reynolds wanted it. Okay. So we got that going up here. Got the nickel here on the single hand brace. And I don't know if you recall a previous video, but the slides on the Olds Ambassador are about 7 ounces, which would qualify it as a lightweight slide. Okay, here we go. So everything's looking pretty good. I mean, the crook is in good shape. You know, the strike plate is in good shape. I can put a rubber bumper on that. Everything's good. Water key's good. Slide's good. So I worked on this one today, so this will be up for sale. But like I said, I still need to get to a few bits and pieces on it. So that's this one. Okay, here we are. This is the beauty. This is the Reynolds. But this isn't just any Reynolds. This is I believe it's a 1939 Reynolds Professional. The first horns that Reynolds made when he went into production were the Professionals. Okay, Reynolds Professional. How can you tell it's a Reynolds Professional? Well, first of all, let's take a look at the bell here. That's one way to tell, because that's how the Professionals were designed. F.A. Reynolds right there. Company Inc., Cleveland, Ohio. Now, 7.5-inch bell. Solid brass. Their early professional horns were solid brass. Now, why was it called a Reynolds Professional? Well, it's because that was their pro horn. Now, this is an aftermarket counterweight. I don't have the original counterweight. It didn't come with the original counterweight. Look at these ferrules here. This is the early Reynolds design for their ferrules. So if you see these triple ridged ferrules, you know, and these ornate little three-piece braces, that's going to be the Professional. The other thing too is, much like the Olds, you can see the curved braces down here, flat on the sides, curved. Okay, for both support and helps with some of the thumb comfort. Okay, that makes it a Reynolds. Let's look at the slide. Slide's in good shape. So you have these, you know, Bisher did the very same thing. But whenever you see these flat sides up here, the long nose on the receiver here, these are Reynolds slides right here. And let's see. And you get to the bottom here, you can't really tell. They look pretty generic for the most part. Crook is in great shape. You know, I get these things and people just bend the crap out of these. I don't know if they do it intentionally, but this should be going this way, like this. Because when you're reaching down, you don't want to have to push all the way through the slide to empty the spit. So that one's going to get repositioned. But slide's in really good shape. This was a horn I got in. It might be in a previous video as a Reynolds Professional rescue, but this has been rescued. And the cases are really cool for this day and age. I mean, it's got that tweed fabric on the outside. I don't know how much cleaning I can do on it. I'll do the best I can. But the purple is kind of indicative of that time period. They like the purple velvet, you know. And this storage space looks pretty good. Got the little hook in here. The latches are all fine. Got this original handle, which is, I mean, it's just so vintage. It just looks like an old radio, you know. Anyway, so this is really good. And I can tell you for certain, because I'm going to show you the horn I got in today. It's another Reynolds Professional from that same era, 1939. I'm pretty sure it's 38, 39. This one has a light lacquer on it. It's not a heavy lacquer. There's a little bit of lacquer on it to keep it kind of shiny, because I did this one a little while ago. And this plays much differently than the horn with the intact original lacquer. The original lacquer is completely that nitrocellulose lacquer, and it's pretty heavy. And I played both horns. Both horns respond totally differently. This one has a much nicer response, a little warmer sound. I think because of the lack of the lacquer on it. But let me show you the other one that I got in today. It's a parent who owned this Reynolds Professional. This came from Hawaii, by the way. Didn't have its original case. So that little horn's in this behemoth here, this ProTech. Let's open this up. Anyway, look at that. Look at the color of that. That is so cool. There's the original counterweight. If you wondered what the original counterweight looked like, this is what it looked like. Okay, this one doesn't have marking on it. Earlier ones, you would actually see a very ornate R on it. But this I don't know if this has been re-lacquered, because this lacquered is in pretty good condition. But you can see here's the 3 ridges on the sleeves here, right? Here's the curved hand brace with the flat sides. Here's the bell engraving, just like the other one I have. If I can get it to focus here, right? F.A. Reynolds. But then you get down to the bottom where it says Co. and Inc. in Cleveland, Ohio. And Cleveland is almost not there. You can almost not see it under where it says Co. for company and Inc. for incorporated. And this lacquer is kind of spotting. And there's some dings and stuff on it that I'm going to be taking out. But the reason why I'm thinking that this was re-lacquered is because Cleveland is practically not present. You can't see it. So it could have been that it got, could be that it got buffed out. So there's a good chance that this horn may have been refinished a long time ago with this, sort of this honey colored lacquer. Slide's in really nice shape. Okay, it looks good. I actually played it. Okay, so down here we got the nickel sleeves at the end, which is, again, sort of indicative of a more pro horn of that day. It's for hand wear, and it also helps with some of the resistance up at the top of the slide. When you get down near 7th position, it gives this more structural support. And then it's got the little mother of pearl button there, which is kind of fancy. It's the first one I've seen like that. That reminds me of the Rudy Mucks. The Rudy Mucks are like that. They put this little mother of pearl. I think some of the old Supers did too. But playing this one has a way different response with all that lacquer on it. It's a little duller. It's a darker sound. It's not a warmer sound, but it's a darker sound. And it doesn't respond quite the same as the one that I had stripped down, polished, and put a light layer of lacquer on it. Okay, so that's the other Reynolds that actually just came in today. It was marked as unbranded. Okay, next horn I worked on today was a 1962 Olds Ambassador. Let's get this one open here. Okay, get the case open. There we go. I left the, I was playing it, so I left the towel in here. 1962. Interesting because this is not a 1962 counterweight. This is a 1970s counterweight, but it is the, oh, you know what it is? This is a 70s bell with a 62 slide here. Because like I said, I get these things and they're all very mixed matched. Not mismatched, but mixed matched. Because what happens is the school districts that buy these things, if they get damaged, they just pick another slide out of their slide parts and then they put it together. You can see that this one was well used because you can see the texture and the wear on the cork barrels here. You know, they're it almost looks hand hammered. But yeah, I polished that up. But the slide works great. All the slides work really good. I make sure that they all work nice. But this is all polished up and in good condition. You know what I do is I may not lacquer the slide. I may not lacquer the bell, but I lacquer the slides, you know, from top to bottom. So the slides get lacquered. The Olds Ambassadors, actually all the Olds bells, they're made of a nice thick metal. Here, look, we're going to do the flick test here. Ready for this? Okay, here we go. Okay. Hear that? Lower pitch, long ring. Different than the other horn I flicked, which was the Reynolds Professional. So the Reynolds Professional, oh, the Getson. The Getson had the lighter weight. It was kind of more of a tang. This is more of a ding and ring. So that's how you can tell the bell's heavy. But again, The slides are lightweight. The bells have a wonderful sense of support because of their weight of the bell. And I will leave these unlacquered. I will wax them up, but I will leave them unlacquered. So 62 Olds Ambassador. Okay, in a case. Generic case, not the original case. The original cases look like this orangey thing here. So let's see, what else did I work on today?